Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are having a great day. And yes, hey, we get a chance to do things a little bit early because of the Jay and Trey podcast that was recorded this past Tuesday. So now, hey, I guess you could say I pretty much have a day off from the podcast, but nevertheless, though, I am very, very excited to get a chance to join you guys from the StreamYard studios. In case you guys don't know what StreamYard is, it is an incredible website for you guys to get a chance to do. Business meetings or interviews, podcasts, whatever it may be. StreamYard is the perfect place to go. I've been enjoying it ever since I started it. Excuse me. And I'm very excited to get a chance to be able to make all these interviews thanks to StreamYard. So make sure you guys head on over to StreamYard.com and get a chance to check out the free version today. Also, first of all, let's go ahead and send a huge shout out real quick. I always forget to do this, but hey, let's go ahead and start things off with my great friends at RMGFX1. You guys can head on over to RMGFX1.com and get a chance to buy some incredible merchandise. Also, we have some Fighting Now merchandise. If you guys get a chance to do that, you guys can also use the promo code Fight Now to save 10% off your entire purchase. So yeah, make sure to head on over to RMGFX1.com and get your Fighting Now gear today. Also, because I didn't get a chance to update this today, but tomorrow it is the Jay and Trey podcast. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the TNC Sports Talk. Make sure to head on over to all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and head on over to @TNC Sports Talk and get a chance to follow or subscribe today. I know this coming Saturday I have Jared Parker is going to be joining me for a very special interview. He's a part of the media, so you know what? I want to be able to get a chance to build him up and get a chance to help out this incredible individual. Also, let's go ahead and send in some shout outs to our great friends. Let's go ahead and start things off with Mom's Basement MMA. They've been busy a lot lately, and I know that between the Instagram and between YouTube, they've had so many incredible interviews. Not only that, but you can also get a chance to buy some merchandise. Head on over to Moms_Basement MMA on Instagram and get a chance to follow them today. Also, and I do have a very special announcement involving the person behind this podcast, Liz with a Z podcast. You guys can go ahead and check out Lisa Solar on Instagram and get a chance to check out the podcast on Instagram as well. And I will make the announcement that Lisa Solar is going to be joining me Monday at 6 o'clock. We get a chance to talk about podcasts. We get a chance about her time, fighting for XFN. And of course, we get a chance to talk about what's the best is yet to come for her. So we'll get a chance to have her to join me this coming Monday. And last but certainly not least, we have In the Booth by Air Media and Productions. Air Media Productions have been hosting so many incredible interviews, and they've been doing so many awesome and amazing things right now. And I feel like that, this is the perfect time for you all to get a chance to follow Air Media Productions because they also focus on a lot of their viewers and their followers, and yet you can get a chance to interact with them. Be sure to head on over to Air Media Productions on Instagram today and check out In the Booth, wherever you get a chance to listen to your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, whatever it may be, and check out Air Media Productions today. All right, now we got a chance to get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about the week that we've had and yet what is yet to come for today. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's kind of like been a late minute thing. But either way, though, we have two members from Bushido get a chance to join me today. Today, I got Monica that's going to be joining me, and then later on, I have Miss Nolia, and I'm trying not to butcher her name. Vasolo is going to be joining me at 1 o'clock. Both these ladies who competed last week for Combat Night MMA, and I know this was Monica's first fight, but I talked to her earlier this week, and I said, what, I don't care if you just had your first fight. I mean, you still went in there and fought your heart out in a very incredible kickboxing bout, and what, I think the best is yet to come for this incredible individual. So give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, to see if she is all ready to go, and if she is, then yet, looks like she's on her way. So yet we get a chance to have Miss Monica Cordero. Hopefully I'm saying this right. But she'll be joining me. I know that she'll talk a lot about her journey, especially when it comes to her very first fight. And the one thing I really love when it comes to every fighter's story and every fighter's different side of things is that you don't know what to expect, especially when it comes to the way that they feel on the training, the way that they've prepared. Give me one second, my apologies, y'all. But the way that they feel about a lot of stuff. So I'm very excited to get a chance to have Miss Monica to get a chance to join me. And I think now is the time, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome into the studio Miss Monica Cordero.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. All good. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, I want to get a chance to thank you for joining me here on the StreamYard studio. So you've been very busy lately because, like I just mentioned, you just had your first fight at Combat Night MMA.
I
I mean, how do you feel after that?
very different. um like I was training I had only been training for over a year now, and that fight was an insane experience. Like none of the training, honestly. I mean, I guess if someone was trying to intentionally punch me, it would have prepared me a little bit, but nothing really would have prepared me for like getting in the cage and being face to face with like one other person at a time.
Yeah.
It's really insane.
It's definitely insane to say the least. I think we've been it's been what, a week since your fight, and we have a lot more to talk about that. And plus, who you got a chance to see at Combat Night?
Oh,
Ooh, that was a little bit loud, but either way though, so yeah, let's go ahead and start this off. And by the way, if you guys want to get a chance to follow her, hopefully I got this written down correctly. You guys can chance to follow her at Monica Cordero on Instagram. And I got to tell you, there's been a lot of things that inspire us to start where we are today. So you told me that it's been a year since you started. So I mean, what inspired you to start fighting?
well, I was just um I guess it was like quarantine time when I took kind of fitness a little more seriously, and I wanted to get more into running and stuff. And then I felt like my knees were kind of giving out. So I was looking for just a different kind of cardio. And I know kickboxing is like really good cardio for all of your body. So I went to like a local kickboxing cardio gym, and it was okay. And then I was like, no, I really want to like learn this, like the techniques of it and how to like actually take a shot and like defend and then offense. And like I want to learn the game of it. But all of the private training around me was like too expensive to afford. And my friend noticed that I was doing that, and he recommended it to me, the gym Bushido. And he was going there for a couple months before I started going, and then I tried out a class and I literally became addicted, like just like that. The next day I was back, and then I bought the gloves the very next week, and it was, a love that I just couldn't get away from. So yeah.
Well, I definitely do admire that, to say the least. And yeah, we talked about Bushido, and I can tell how much of a family that it has been to you. You got a chance to meet your incredible best friends, your coaches, and everything. I mean, how much can you say that Bushido has made an impact on you?
It's literally changed my whole life, like the course of my whole life. I had a different career kind of set up in like music education, and this kind of took that out of my scheduling because I wanted to dedicate my time to the gym and see the improvement that I wanted to see. And all I was hearing from my teammates and the other guys that go to the gym, they're like, okay, you'll only get good kind of if you are consistent and you show up for the classes. And that's with everything in life, just consistency and showing up. So I just felt like if I did that the most at the gym for myself, then I'll see the most improvement. And that's exactly what it is. And over a year later, like I'm there in the cage fighting.
Well, before we get a chance to talk about that, you've trained so much before this fight, and there's been a lot of difficult times, whether if it's the mental game, the physical game. What would you say has been the most difficult part about training in your perspective?
Um, It's definitely the mental game for sure. Like in the beginning, it's tough physically on your body because there's strength and conditioning, and there's this extra gas tank of cardio that you need to like have with you at all times, kind of when you're doing bad class, and then you have another class after, and we're doing Muay Thai techniques or the clinch, and you feel gas. Obviously, in the beginning, it's tough, but it gets easier once you start noticing that the muscles start, you know, kicking in and your stamina grows. But once you kind of pass this hurdle of, okay, now I'm physically fit, then you have to check up on your mental game too and see if you have that mental stamina to push you through all of the trainings, because you'll get stronger the more that you train, but your mental game needs to be right there with it, or else you start having bad thoughts and all of those thoughts manifest into your training. So
Yeah,
I think it's really important to, make sure that that is good as well, because it
absolutely.
definitely affects the training and affects how you are as a teammate too. And then your teammates notice, and we really are like a family. Like we always check in on each other. If somebody is acting a certain way and they're usually up and cheery, or they're like this and that, then we step in and we double check on each other.
You talked about Bushido and yet, how big of a family it is. How much can you say have you learned from your coaches and from your teammates, especially before the fight? I mean, there was so much you got a chance to learn. I mean, take us through that.
Everything, honestly. Like they taught me from day one, and I had no techniques, nothing, like literally from zero to hero kind of. Um, and I'm still improving. I'm still learning from them all the time. But it really was just like swallowing my pride and being shown all of these basic techniques and trying to learn the basics, because some people will come and will try and prove themselves to the guys who have been at the gym training for several years. So it's really a humbling experience when you're learning from the top guys, and you can really tell that they want to help too, and they notice that you want to improve. So it's really just a team effort. It's an individual sport, but I rely on the guys at the gym. Everybody, all of the girls that train with me, they give me the work and stuff. Like I would not be able to have fought without their knowledge
Yeah.
and our work together. Yeah.
So talking about the fight, when it was first announced, I mean, what was the nerves going through? Was you excited to find the fact that it was finally announced? I mean, was you pumped up? I mean, how was you feeling about
So
that?
pumped. Yes, it was so exciting. Like I couldn't stop smiling for the rest of the week when I found out, because I know combat night is just such a fun night, and there are going to be several of my teammates fighting with me, and a couple of them had to be pulled out because of their opponents and stuff, but I knew my whole team was going to be there, and they were there to support me, and I could faintly hear them through the cage like while I was in there, and afterwards everyone encouraging me in the gym. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and yet, for people that don't know, I mean, you got a chance to be able to be on the same fight card with your teammates, such as Nolia and so many others, to say the least. I mean, how awesome did it felt for you? The fact that, hey, I get to be on the same card with my crew, and I know that they're going to do what they do best. I mean, was you pumped for them as well as you was pumped for you?
I was super pumped. I was like, everyone's gonna do good. Everyone's gonna be everyone's gonna show their game. We're gonna show up and show them what it really means to be Bushido Muay Thai. So
Uh,
yeah, and I
yeah,
think we did that. I think we did that pretty well, in my opinion. So I'm really proud. Yeah.
I can honestly tell you that I've seen other teams that are like family, and I've noticed that with Bushido, with you, with Noah, with Ashley, with so many others a part of this team. It's like there's nothing that can separate y'all because if you mess with one of y'all, you're gonna end up facing all of y'all, to say the least.
Exactly.
And but yet, I want to get a chance to talk to you about Fight Week. Take us through Fight Week. It was the first time get ready before the fight, and you had so much to be prepared for. What was going through your mind, and how did you handle Fight Week?
Fight week was kind of not as stressful as the week before, because I knew I would be cutting my calories during fight week. But the week before, I was really pushing my body and everything through training, and I had to. Well, I'm also a student outside of this, and I have a job, so juggling all of that and trying to get in as many sessions in the gym as possible, it was really tough, and like tough on my body too. And obviously, like we're drilling and things in different classes like Muay Thai, clinch, and some guys, like injure, they rough play a little bit, and it's much needed. But I was going into the fight with injuries, so I was trying to just push aside all of the injuries and reassure myself that I was going to be okay. And I ended up being okay. I'm still here standing, so it was good. But fight week, it was not as stressful. I was trying to calm my nerves as much as I could, and I think I did an okay job.
You know what? Talking about fight day. It's finally fight day for you. You're walking into the arena and you get a chance to be a part your first ever fight. I mean, what inspired you to be able to keep your mind focused on one thing only? That was going in there to fight.
Yeah. Um, honestly, I was looking at the other fighters and trying to notice how they weren't looking at anybody else or thinking about anybody else. And I tried to emulate that as best as I could, and I went okay. That part. Yeah.
It's all right to say the least. And yet, once when you got a chance to step in the cage, and yeah, you fought your heart out. You fought, and you had an incredible job. I mean, what would you say has been the best part when it comes to this fight, especially for your first time?
Definitely the best part was just having the support in the crowd, because when you have shots being blown at you, it's really tough on your body, but it's even tougher hearing it in the crowd and having that encouragement when something did land and I could hear her, like my opponent, kind of exhale on shots that were being blown at her. That kind of definitely pumped up my stamina and like my intentions to want to like finish her. And I could hear faintly one of my friends was saying to keep going, and all I was saying in my head was just keep going. And obviously the ref was getting in the middle of the both of us during the clinch, and it's tough to call because they weren't sure if it was a kickboxing bout or Muay Thai bout, so
Yeah,
it was a little in the middle of things. But I think yeah, having the encouragement of the crowd was really helpful, really helpful.
absolutely, absolutely, to say the least. And I think this was a kickboxing bout because whenever I got a chance to watch everything, it's like you want to be like you think it would be a Muay Thai fight, but instead it's just a regular kickboxing bout. There's no clinches. But I can honestly tell you that it's the urge, as much as you learn that you want to use the clinch to help you out, but with different rules.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really tough. Um, the ref did ask me before we started if I knew the rules, and I was just like, okay, let's go for it. But yeah, that would have been helpful if they kind of went a little more into detail with that.
And yet, you've had so many incredible things to do. I mean, you got a chance to do the weigh in, in which you had so many people taking pictures, and you had all the publicity for you as well you deserved. And then after the fight, and I saw this through comment night. You got a chance to see the Island Boys in the crowd, and you got a chance to take a picture with them. So, how did it feel that after your first ever fight? You end up meeting the the Island Boys. I mean, take us through that.
Well, I didn't see them all night, because it was pretty focused. And then the fights ended, and I'm still backstage, like getting Noelia ready and Kevin ready. And um, we went out to watch one of the fights, and then my friend sent a picture from the other side of the cage, and I was like, Oh, like they're right there, like, and I just secured it in that moment. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a picture for the one time, and that's it. And then I
Yeah.
went and Mitch had his phone out, so he just started recording. I was like, oh, okay.
And it's like Instagram famous. You didn't expect that, did you?
No, honestly, I haven't been hit up on that post
Mhm.
personally, but I know I've checked the comments underneath a couple times, so it's always fun when I want to get a good laugh in.
Yeah, and whenever I first saw that, and I hate to even admit this, when I first saw that, I literally tagged you into a post. I was like, "Does that mean that she's going to be an island girl?" And Ashley's mom, out of nowhere, gave me the palm face. I'm like, it's cringy.
No,
I know, but you know what?
I won't.
But good.
Yeah. No, you're good.
All right. But the one thing this one thing I've always thought about is that you got a chance to get your first fight under the belt. I mean, how much have you learned from this entire process? You got a chance to go through the fight weeks and the weigh-ins, and then you got a chance to get your first fight done.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you, you did a tremendous job. And for anyone who's not got a chance to check it out, go check it out on Combat Night MMA because for a first time, I mean, you look like a pro out there. You look like a pro out there.
Yeah. There's
I
a
mean,
lot of room for improvement, but it's okay. And it's going to be better every single time. So I just got to look forward to that. And I'm definitely going to be out there fighting again soon, very soon.
crossing my fingers on that. But yet, one thing I can honestly ask you is that, have you, sat down and, thought about everything that went down? Did it ever just like hit your mind? It's like, I can't believe it. My first fight is done. It's like, cross that check mark off the list, right?
Yeah, it was. I just didn't picture myself actually committing to it and doing it in the very beginning. And it's it's a lot that I've been through in this past year, so it's really like a bittersweet moment like afterwards. And even though I didn't get the decision, I did fight my heart out and I gave the best that I could in that moment. So I'm just looking forward to the next time that I get to really show myself off to the crowd.
I'm very excited to say the least, and I think you have an incredible support system. I mean, it's if you guys have not got a chance to check it out, go check it out on Instagram because there's one thing I really do admire is that your heart, your determination, the effort that you put in. I've noticed it all, and I can honestly say I don't think people can admire how much you sacrifice yourself just for this fight and potentially any other future fights to say the least. So really and truly, Monica, you are doing just an incredible job to say the least. And I feel like, not only myself, but everyone that's watching this fight is going to be admired because for one, you went to that cage, sorry for the stutter, and you did something that nobody else could. You went in there and you fought your heart out, you kicked some ass, and then I feel like the best is yet to come for you.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely hope so too.
Well, hey, I mean, I think the big question is what's next? What is next for you? I mean, is there any other future fights that you have potentially that you want to do? Is there any tournaments that you want to do?
Um, Definitely some tournaments over the summer with the team would be super fun, but hopefully I get to fight before then too, and then go into the tournaments with 2 or 3 fights already,
Yeah,
and we'll just see from there. Yeah.
absolutely. But yet, real quick before we get a chance to have your final comments, I do encourage you guys to go check her out. I hope I typed that correctly, but go follow her at Miss Monica, or not Miss Monica, but either Monica Cordero, and go check her out. Go show some love. Go blow her up. I mean, either way, because the moment once I got a chance to talk to you, it's like, okay, I already know that there's something special about you, to say the least.
Thank you.
And, so before we get a chance to hop off the air, is there any final comments you want to say?
Um, Stay posted. I'm gonna definitely be more active on my Instagram, so just catch me on there. I'll catch you later, Jake.
Yeah, and hey, if I was you, I would want to stay tuned for 1 o'clock because I feel like we might as well call this Bushido Thursday because we
Yeah.
had Ashley yesterday, we got you today, and then coming up at 1, we have Nolia is going to be joining me at 1.
Yes.
And when I told her about your interview, she was hyped up for you. She was like, Monica. I was like, yep, Monica's going to join me.
She's the best. I love Noelia so much. She's gonna have so much fun out here.
I hope you had a lot of fun us here as well, and I definitely do appreciate your time. I'm sorry for waking you up because I
No,
know you.
you're great. Thank you so much for your time. This was so much fun.
I will definitely send you the link once when I get done finishing. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
No
Bye.
problem. Later. That was Miss Monica Cordero, and yet once again, I encourage you guys to get a chance to follow her at Monica Cordero. She was so incredible, and I'm so glad to get a chance to have the opportunity to get a chance to talk to her. She was so amazing. I think that we can all learn something from her. That she went from doing this for fitness, and then she's now fighting. I mean, it's so incredible to see how much of these fighters are doing right now, and I feel like this is the perfect time. If you want to get involved with fitness, go do kickboxing or boxing, some sort of activity for you to either lose weight or potentially, just like Monica, it could be something for you to do and yet get a chance to go in there and fight. So yet, make sure to follow her at Instagram because later on today at 1 o'clock we have Miss Nolia Vassallo. Hopefully I said that right. Once again, my apologies. But yet, if you guys want to get a chance to check out some more interviews, head on over to not Instagram, but YouTube, and check out all the interviews that we have in store. Because I know we have 3, potentially maybe 4 big interviews for you guys next week. I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible, and I'm very excited. But yet, don't forget, Noah's going to be joining me at 1, and then Saturday, Jared Parker is going to be joining me on the Jay and Trey podcast live at 11 Saturday night, so you guys don't want to miss it. But for right now, ladies and gentlemen, for myself here at the Fighting Now, aka Jake, follow me on Instagram at the Fighting Now, and I'm Jake and saying so long, and we'll see you guys later.